Coming up on MovieBuff, George Clooney shows off his wild side in the fantastic Mr. Fox. It's the horror film even we could afford to make, say hello to Colin. And does Jeremy Piven have the goods? Well, stay tuned to find out in his new comedy. When it comes to casting one of Roald Dahl's best-loved characters, well, voices don't get much foxier than George Clooney's.
That's my trademark.
The Hollywood heartthrob leads the pack in his first ever animation. And boy did he choose a good one. The big screen version of classic story, The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Although director Wes Anderson did have someone else in mind when he picked him.
I think Cary Grant would have been good. And within...
Thanks for that.
But that within 20 seconds of thinking of Cary Grant, we were talking about George Clooney.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I think that was meant to be a compliment. Anyway, like the book, it follows our red-tailed hero as he tries to outwit brothers Boggis, Bunce and Bean by stealing their produce. But when the terrible three catch on, all hell breaks loose, and it's up to Mr. Fox to save his family and friends.
This guy was such an optimist, and I really thought it was a fun character to play.
Nothing like the Pixar or DreamWorks approach. No cushy studio in their pyjamas. The stars of this flick played all their parts for real.
We were out in the middle of nowhere and people's farms and doing sound effects and things like that, rolling around in the field. So it was the whole process was exciting for me.
It's also in a different class thanks to the use of old-school stop-motion animation rather than computer graphics, which gives it a lived-in and edgier feel. It's intelligent, and with laugh-out-loud performances from not only the Cloonster, but Meryl Streep playing his other half.
If what I think is happening, it better not be.
And Bill Murray as Badger.
Are you cussing with me?
No, you cussing with me?
Don't cuss and point at me.
You're gonna cuss with somebody, you're not gonna...
So whatever your thoughts about the so-called pests of the animal kingdom, trust me, this may well change your opinion.
You really are a quote-unquote fantastic fox.
I try.
Shot on a handheld camera and made for just 45 quid. It was the cheapest feature on at the Cannes Film Festival. But pretty much ever since it was screened, zombie movie Colin has been on the up.
Coming back from Cannes, we were lucky enough to get a UK distributor who had enough faith in the film that not only did they let us keep the title to market a zombie film with a title that doesn't have the word zombie in it, they were using a relatively new and handsome actor as the focal point of the poster. And yeah, they've just been incredible, and they also think that it's worth a limited theatrical release, which is something I never really expected to happen.
That's rising director Mark Price and his lead actor Alistair Curtin. Now Alistair stars as our hero, the lovable zombie Colin.
There have been a couple of which are really, really flattering sort of comparisons with Frankenstein as well. Yeah. So sort of the kind of the way that you really feel for Frankenstein's monster and things like that in the way that you feel for Colin. You know, he kills and it is the monster, but there is a reason or there's something else around it.
I know about this all wrong. This is too small. If we get him in front of Mum, then he'll see it. He'll come out. I could see it. There was something there. There was something. And if Mum's there...
The almost dialogue-free drama is done from Colin's perspective. We follow his journey after he's bitten by a zombie, dies, and then returns from the dead to wander through the streets.
And the idea with Colin was to try and find a way to tell a story involving zombies that hadn't been done in a way that I hadn't seen before. And so for me, that's what it was about, was trying to use the language of film to try and tell the story of this character and to somehow try to get the audience to engage with him on an emotional level.
Colin is worth seeing just for the realistic blood and gore alone. Seriously though, this unique, well-shot and cleverly edited emotional drama looks set to have a huge cult following, and as for these two, we'll expect to see plenty more of them.
July 4th weekend, everybody, and we're going to war.
Anchorman, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights. If that's your idea of a good night at the cinema, then this week it is all about the goods. Live hard, sell hard.
Don't even get me started on Pearl Harbor. We are the Americans, and they are the enemy. Never again!
Never again! Never again! Let's get him!
Starring Entourage hero Jeremy Piven, it's the story of Don Reddy, a used car salesman hired with his team by a failing dealership to turn their 4th of July sale into a major cash winner.
I think this country, to be honest with you, is going to get it more than the States.
Fat kids, customer hates you. Fat wife, customer pities you. Zuha, that's the best fat wife I've seen in 4 or 5 years.
We're doing some prototypes of Americans that I think is the way certain people really view Americans. You take this stereotype and you explore and you heighten it, and then you make it truthful, but like really offensive, but funny, you know? So I had a blast. I'm really proud of this one.
Jeremy Piven's not the only recognisable face. The cast is a true ensemble of comedy geniuses.
We've got half the cast from The Hangover and The American Office.
Ed Helms is brilliant.
Yeah, he is.
He's so funny.
He's ridiculous. Yeah, it's such a pleasure to work with guys who will make themselves look absolutely foolish.
If you are true, I'll keep doing it. Doing it right there.
Oh my God. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, the idea that like a guy is that serious about being in a boy band, and the worst boy band ever.
A, I have a beautiful car.
Yeah.
B, I have a $44 haircut.
Right.
Yeah, and C, I have slick threads. Oh, yeah, Men's Warehouse. I like the way I look.
Right.
This laugh-out-loud comedy is full of classic, quotable one-liners.
It's been a year and a half since I've been home, and I'm 90% sure I left my front door open.
It cannot fail to get you giggling into your popcorn, especially after you spot what could be the best cameo of the year and possibly the best cameo of Will Ferrell's career.